Absolutely.
Good to hear.
I know a lot of last minute changes for everyone with all the rules and regulations and stuff like that, but excited to watch some League of Legends.
Absolutely. So as we go through the pick ban phase, we have the obvious Kiddo Shaco ban. That's maybe the most obvious one we've seen, and then the Tom Kench ban as well is interesting to me, but it's a very irritating thing to play against. Might not be the strongest, but irritation can cause tilt, so I can see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so obviously that's the OTP for Saga. You're getting to automatically let that one through.
And then the late Lulu, I like that a lot. If you're not letting Lulu go in through the first round, you might as well ban it like afterwards because
Yeah.
it's so good with so many comps. Whether it's in the bot lane to beef up your ADC or your other worldly carry as well is
Yeah,
also
and
good.
taking that away from Yasuo team is always very strong. Bit of context on that, since people are just picking and banning in order. Did pick the Kog'Maw in the first round of picks, so the Lulu got banned out in the second round of bans because Kog'Maw went third. Couldn't pick the Lulu and Cog together there. They, have the Kog'Maw and obviously taking away that.
Okay,
That was the fourth ban there.
Yeah.
And Cog, yeah, there was a Cog picked when.
Okay, I was looking at the wrong thing, but that makes a lot more sense now. But I digress. So now we have the Nocturne Victor, which I think is crazy strong because you can knock that pretty much anyone into the Victor stun.
Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff there.
That's what I'm looking at here. And then the Sona pick, they're at the very end. Sona's a lane bully as long as you don't have something that can engage on a super hard, which it looks like they don't have. Unless I'm very mistaken, which looking at
They've got Gragas. Depends what Gragas runs, but Gragas can have a. Obviously, there's Nocturne. So Nocturne could always just ult in on Sona, but. It depends kind of how they go. If Nocturne can get really strong early, it can kind of just kill the Sona. Dogma, maybe. But if they're caught out alone, I have a feeling it's hard to do. They've also got the Lux, right? So you get like Lux ult. Last a little bit. Nocturne all in. So I kind of like how, got the very safe comp with the Gragas disengage, Victor, the Lux, and they also have the ability to hit the go button if it's a W or Lux thing. Nocturne's in, Gragas is in. Got kind of a good fight comp there in general. I think overall pretty strong. A lot of magic damage.
I don't have a comp that I like more than the other, honestly, in this one.
Yeah,
I think they're both
they
strong.
definitely, more standard, kind of protect the Kog'Maw comp on the other side. You've got the Mundo, you've got the Amumu, or, counter engage, or engage, depending on what you need. You don't really have anything to support the Yasuo from knockups, so I will have to come up with initiations and things like that when he does want to ult. That's a big difference from last time. Last time they had a Zac to go with that Yasuo, and that pretty devastating as a kind of combo together. A lot of fights where the Zac would go in and Yasuo would get kind of free.
And I'm hearing in my ear right now that your volume is very low, so you need to turn that up.
My volume?
I believe so. Or it's a lot lower than mine.
Mess around with Smutty.
And also, it's on OBS most likely.
Yeah. If that's a little better. I'm now way too loud.
Let me ask. So one thing I want to mention is that I think the biggest thing in this game will be the it could go up a touch, by the way. Like I can hear you great, but
yeah, let's do one. All right, that's maxing out on my OBS now, so should be a little better.
Well, I mean, it's good, or it's it's not going to get any better than that. So I think one thing we need to like watch here is how the laners help the junglers here. Okay, I'm hearing that it's perfect.
Beautiful.
Because obviously the Nocturne will be able to go for scuttles very easily, but then also the Amumu can just knock out those scuttles in 2 seconds. So I think the top and mids are going to have to be hovering on those scuttles, at least early game. And then afterwards, I believe those junglers can kind of leave each other alone. But in the early game, going for those scuttles, I think will be huge. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean they're not as important as they used to be, but obviously just for vision and stuff like that, that'll be super useful. We know how important dragons are, especially now when most of the time, your soul's going to be a hex tech or a chem tech. Both pretty devastating to deal with. A hex tech on the side of a Kog'Maw or something like that would be pretty rough to deal with in particular.
Yeah.
And then obviously chem tech on any team is just absolutely broken right now. I think we got two pretty standard, poke comp, Lux Jin. I think probably favored early game against the Cog Sona, but they'll probably have a hard time completely killing them. Sona Cog late game, obviously just very strong.
Yeah, and as two bot lane players, I think we're going to be overly hyped on the bot lane. But I think there's other stuff that we have to look at. But I know it'll be tough for both of us to look at other things, at least for me.
All right, league and game. I have a feeling that my thing is just ridiculously zoomed in for no reason. Let's see if we can fix that. Maybe.
Are you already in?
I'm in the loading zone.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Yep, crazy zoomed in.
God.
Do you know how to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why are you... Second. You test everything before the game. You go into a game. It's still zoomed in.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Alright, so we have a standard 5 points from the red side, and then on the blue side they're all hanging out in that brush up by the red buff. And it looks like we're not going to get anything spicy going on here. We also have the Nocturne going back for what I'm assuming, is the sweep reward there. So nothing spicy happening yet. And then give me 1 second. I'm going to join the Twitch stream so we're both watching the same thing. Or can you stream on...
Yeah, let me get that going too.
There we go. Yeah, nothing crazy happening, which is... From what I've seen, we haven't seen many invades. Especially in the early part of the season, nerves are flying, at least for me. No one really wants to do a crazy thing that could end the game or win the game for you. So now we have the Amumu doing the red buff, straight to chickens. Pretty normal stuff. But what are your thoughts on this mid lane matchup?
I think it's pretty Victor favored generally. You don't really have the damage as Yasuo to just all in him 100% usually early on. You can stay pretty safe back and just clear waves. Top lane I think is going to be a little bit of just a meat stick fight. I like Gragas into it. I think in general he's kind of got the sustain to out sustain Mundo, but at the same time I don't think either of them are killing each other anytime soon.
Yep, and then notice that the Victor there in the mid lane, it was, do we just call him Rooster?
Yeah, Nuclear Rooster. Angel is his name, we can go with that too, but...
Okay, yeah, he got that, that Airy proc, which is huge, because it does a ton of damage early. Clearly a seasoned player, and that was very nice.
Yeah, Victor definitely does just get to kind of poke out Yasuo early. Bot lane, a little bit of bullying coming out of Arianel Kev on the Sona here.
Very nice.
Good poke. That is the combo that, with the Jhin and the Lux, you've got the two targeted roots there. If you get one, you should get the other one for free.
I'm missing the Q here there. I would imagine. Okay, and then G-Cola going there for the scuttle buff. We have
Yeah,
a flash coming out
Flash
from
is
Moo Moo.
after him. We'll see if we get some bot lane coming down, but it looks like they've got numbers here. Citrine might be going down here if they don't.
Oh,
Get out of
very
this.
clever Q there from Citrine.
TP come down from Belf. That's gonna get everyone else out of here. Seeing if he can get something to go happen here. I think we're just gonna get a lot of flashes out of everybody, and that might be the end of it.
Yeah, that Q from Citrine there saved the fight. She.
Yeah, it both got her out and also stopped the re-engage from Lux to
That was
find her. That
that
was
was
pretty
pretty
important.
awesome.
Yeah. I think early dragons will be a pretty heavy focus, and in general, my eyes are mostly on the Nocturne around level 6 to see what happens for the mid game here. I'd expect early game to be pretty standard outside of maybe bot lane if Kev gets something going here, just knowing him, but
Yep, and then I want to focus for a second on G-Cola hitting that W. It's very hard to not just sprint after a Sona like that, but him also knowing that she can heal a ton, I think that shows a little bit of patience, and that's some good stuff.
yeah, for sure. Sona does pretty well into a lot of these kind of like poke and or all-in champs because you got just enough healing to kind of survive. Also running the heal exhaust combo in the bot lane, both teams. I think on Lux, just in general, Ignite, you're not always in range to be able to use it very effectively. I think that's pretty good. I might like to see them do it the other way around. Heal on Lux and the exhaust on the ADC there maybe, but either way I think that's fine. And then on the other side, I like to run the Ignite on Sona, but maybe not with the Kog'Maw. And definitely not into Nocturne, Gragas, like these things that'll be just jumping in at you.
Yeah, I think what I'd rather do in that lane is have Kog'Maw with exhaust and then Sona with whatever she wants. That's what I would go after, but to each their own. It works either way. So now we have Nocturne coming in from the River Brush. That is warded, so he's going to back off. And it was very obvious from Aya there that he saw it. So now...
We'll switch down to the bot lane. We got Sushni coming in on the Mundo, or Mumu. Can they get him? Yeah.
Oh,
that's
second Q, and that's a first blood.
Meanwhile, top lane, Belf might be getting pinchered here by the mid laner. Looks like that's just going to dissipate, though. Aya coming in to help him out, but good follow from Nuclear Rooster to just dissipate that fight.
Yep, and I think, that was a great gank by Citrine. Coming in, and honestly, I don't know if this is the case, but this happens to me all the time. I genuinely forget that Amumu has 2 Qs now. And that could be the case for the bot lane on the red side as well.
I doubt it, but it is, yeah, definitely something you got to think about with that Amumu now. It definitely makes him a lot more potent at coming in with those early ganks, and even just
as
like
if he
locking
wasn't
a single
strong
target
enough
down.
already.
You kind of had those like big team fight ultimates and things like that, but kind of was starting to lose out to a lot of those like beefy 1v1 fighting junglers that could just kind of bully and carry out of the jungle. So I think it was a good change for him overall. But super annoying to deal with now sometimes, for sure.
With the Sona getting some good poke damage there, and then now we're up in the top lane.
Yeah. It's a good stun there from the Lux to just stop that Sona aggression.
And I,
So no, early CS on everyone on the blue side here. Piltover getting off to an early CS lead overall. Just about a 1k advantage from that kill and also the CS lead in basically every lane except for jungle here. Sorry, you were saying?
Oh, I was going to say that I will say that G-Cola is new to the bot lane, and at least in scrims, I've noticed that he has been outperforming what I thought he'd be doing.
G-Cola is definitely kind of picked up the role. I mean, something to note, G-Cola, top laner last season, picked up the ADC role almost specifically to play with Goober and Nuclear Rooster, wanting them to get their roles. Fight here in the bot lane. early aggression onto Sona, but as usual, kind of not much coming out of that. It's hard to take an extended fight against a Sona with all that extra healing.
Yep, and especially with, I mean, that Lux also disengaged the trade there with that W.
Yeah. Early
very good
dragon
stuff.
here. Looks like we might have a fight coming out of that. Not starting it, but having to get kicked out of there because of Prio from the bot side and mid. No victor for this fight. But looks like red might be coming to look. No, they're just giving it up at this point. I think that's the right call.
Great team play from the blue side there.
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing in particular to look out for. Two great shot callers on Piltover, both Belth in the top lane and Kev in the bot lane. Expect a lot of like quick Mac movements and macro plays out of them.
You see the Amumu coming in again. Great flash.
Yeah,
from Kaiser there.
great ult from Citrine.
The flash right back. Yep.
Exhaust to stop the Jhin, and that's a clean double kill for the bot lane. Both kills going on to the Kog'Maw. That is definitely what you want to see if you're blue side here.
That's
Meanwhile,
fantastic stuff from the Amumu there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we got the other jungler in the top lane, but Belf on that Mundo just going where he
Good
pleases.
little combo there. You gotta run here.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There is an ult. There is an ult still on Nocturne, so was kind of looming around there, maybe trying to make something happen. But
yep, great sidestep there from Goober on that axe, or else it would have been. There isn't an axe anymore. Is it a mallet?
He's throwing dumbbells at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another early jungle play here on the blue side. Citrine definitely taking the edge there. Behind NCS a little bit, but you really need to see something coming out of your level 6 Nocturne if you're wanting to get off to a good start here if you're the red side, and so far that's not been the case. Lumen around mid here, maybe?
Something to notice that Nocturne is 6, so I'm hoping that we'll see big spicy fight here coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And Citrine kind of poking around here top, but Gragas not really bothered too much by that. Mundo not interested in that fight, and with the ward in the red side jungle, seeing the Nocturne coming up, they're just going to get out of that. Pretty good ward coverage overall right now on the map. And I think that's big cause for a lot of our kind of slow start here, but I think we were kind of expecting a slow start, unless we do get a lot of plays out of that. Nocturne maybe playing the bot lane here. Good ult on both of them. Should be Lux dead here. I'd expect Jhin to live. Turn around from Nocturne. That's what you're looking for. Caesar maybe with the outplay here. Does get the kill. Trying to get him low enough to finish him off with the passive. Not barely.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer there because they did everything right. They saw that the Q on Lux was gone, so they went straight in, and then Nocturne was
that is the power of the early Nocturne. It's still a 2 for 2 with 3 people Nocturne coming in, and then here's Citrine on the jungle, just running straight. That misses the Q. That might be enough to let him live with the shield. I don't think so. No, yeah, good kill there from the Amumu solo onto Victor mid. That's his first death of the game. Amumu rather off. There's an Amumu and a Mundo in the same game. Brutal. But Amumu also catching up in CS. There was an early CS lead for Nocturne, but Citrine really just stepping up this game.
If you had to guess, or put yourself into the other team's shoes, what do you think came into the Gragas top pick?
Mundo plays pretty well into a lot of the stuff that Goober plays. It's pretty safe in general. I think it's probably just something he plays well.
Okay.
And also, it's a good team fighter. It does pretty okay with this comp. You've got a lot of like engage and disengage.
I want to preface my question,
And it also does well into Mundo because you've got a lot of free things to get rid of that shield on Mundo, but I don't know if it's strong into it per se. I think it just sort of lanes evenly.
And I don't mean to ask that as if I'm shitting on it. I'm just genuinely wondering.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely an uncommon pick in the top lane, right? I don't know. Mundo's a champ I play jungle quite a bit. I think it's quite strong. Mid kill here.
Oh man, look at that.
Great follow-up. They got, the 4-man crew roaming around, or the 3-man crew roaming around.
And that's what blue side needs, is for Yasuo to come online. And that's a perfect example of how you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. They're at a point now where the Cog can kind of farm safely bot lane here, although it looks like we might have a fight going off. Flash at a G-Cola. Kind of a preemptive flash there. They do have the Nocturne looming around, getting ready for a fight. His ult is up. There is a drag coming up soon, so looking to kind of get vision squared away here. Shuriman going in on the Nocturne. Looks like he might just get killed over the wall.
Oh, man.
Yep. Pretty much everyone ahead now on the blue side. That's going to be a free second jungle dragon there.
This is looking pretty clinical from the blue side here.
Yeah,
not many mistakes.
absolutely clean game. Top staying kind of even, just down 14 CS or so, but just kind of around. Definitely want to see some plays out of this Gragas here mid, maybe. He's got it warded. Idas go in. And yeah, clean onto the Yasuo. The Gragas does have a lot of lockdown. Yasuo, a champ that wants to be free and run around and do whatever he wants, and that Gragas knockback, one of the strongest knockbacks in the game, beats pretty much everything. So that'll stop Yasuo dashing around.
Yeah. So we have a 4K gold deficit in favor of the blue side.
Yeah,
If
and
you
2
had
dragons.
Yep. So if you're on the red side, what do you start calling?
I think you're looking for picks. You've got the Lux, you've got the Jhin, you've got the Nocturne. You got to get some wards up. You got to try and catch people moving around. There's a lot of these, 2-man roams, like you see here top again with the Sona and the Amumu. Good flash there out of the Gragas, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Yep, just completely locking him down. A bit late to that fight, but they do have the Nocturne in here, but I think they might just be too far behind now. Yeah, they're just killing him down in their tower.
Yeesh.
It's pretty rough. I mean, it's a bit early to say it's doomed, but they also have the late game Cog. They've also got the late game Mundo. Mundo's a hard champ to just deal with. He's a stat stick. If he's ahead, kind of gets to just do what he wants.
I mean, these new mechanics that will let people come back a little bit, but 6K is tough. But I believe in them.
Yeah. Cog 1v2ing here. Might have gotten a little too aggro. Nope, he does get the kill onto the Jhin. Man, it's only 15 minutes. If your Cog's already 1v2ing, you're in bad shape.
Yep, with the 7-1, 400 gold bounty, along with the Mundo that also has 250 gold bounty, which it's gonna be tough, but it's not undoable. I've seen people come back with less.
Yeah, for sure. But they're gonna need some mistakes out of blue side here. I think if blue just plays this safe and kind of does what their comp is designed to do, I won't say have it in the bag, but they've got it pretty easy so far if they don't make any major mistakes. So they're gonna
everyone's
need to
farming,
make some plays if you're on the red side. And so far, warding and vision looks like Kev's starting to take that over. We see the vision score difference on the bot lane, 30-10. And then every other lane pretty much even. But a 30-10 vision score difference this early in the game, that is difficult to come back from if they keep that up, because you can't just win straight fights, right? You've got to get picks on the map and catch people, and it looks like, I
have the flash coming out from Rooster there.
Rough ult there from Kev, but otherwise, kind of showing that despite being the ones ahead, also kind of being the ones who are making the plays now too, getting that vision,
and
trying to get those picks.
As a person on the blue side, you know that you can afford that kind of ult and just be like, well, who cares?
Yeah. Aya all-inning here. Yep, just kills Kiddo. Just 1v1. Fight going top lane, Mundo going in. Amumu, another tough champ to deal with when you're behind, because he's got a lot of lockdown. They got a lot of just stat sticks on the side of blue here to complement this Yasuo and Cog, so... Flash of the Citrine, gets hit by the root there, does probably fall here to... Yep, does fall to the Gragas 2-1-0. Playing well, but I mean the whole rest of the team you can see just getting run over.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Up to almost a 8k guild lead now on the side of blue. Drag coming up. If you're red side, I'm thinking probably trying to get vision control while everyone's recalling here. Maybe get a pick on this.
Yeah, because vision is so hard to get.
Yeah, this is probably what you're looking to do here. Yeah.
There you go.
A bit of an overstay there from the cog. Maybe feeling it a little bit, 7-1. But that does give them a good chance to kind of set up wards around Dragon, maybe get a pick here, but looks like they're just going to hightail it home, take their shutdown gold, and maybe try and build something, but
Yeah,
that'll
you gotta
probably
think that they're-
give drag to blue for free here, and that's third dragon this early. Fight on a nuclear rooster. Turn around from Gragas. Sona follow up pretty clean. Meanwhile, you got a Mumu on the dragon, just taking that for drag
And
3.
that right there is why people are banning Dr. Mundo in the Pentakill this year. It just seems, even if you get a slight advantage, which, I mean, Mundo is at a huge advantage here, but even if he's 0-4,
Yikes.
he'd still probably run away from that. It's just...
Yeah, they did
hard-
first pick it
hard to
blind.
deal
They
with.
first picked Mundo blind into this team, so knowing that it'd be pretty good into what he plays, and also just is generally pretty strong right now. Kev may be caught out here, but Mundo there back up, and Cog behind him. Not going to be able to do much about that. That is the kind of thing they need. They need to get a couple of picks like that, but maybe with a little bit more follow-up and see if they can get some of those kills just to get some people back into the game, stall the game out a little bit.
Yeah, and you mentioned vision for the red team, but it's so difficult to get vision with Mundo just running around with his dick helicoptering everywhere.
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
are you gonna do?
And it's not like they have, a Vayne or an attack speed percent damage dealing ADC either. They got Jhin, right? So, not sure if I like the Jhin pick into Mundo, especially with the rest of the team. They don't really have the damage to kill Mundo here.
Yeah, I mean,
now
it's
that he's so far
tough
ahead.
to stay with the picks. Like when you're in the pick ban, it's hard to think like, oh, Mundo's going to be 5 kills off everyone.
Yeah, but at the same time, right? Like, Belth is the overall second pick of the league. He's a high diamond player.
True.
He's definitely not going to be weak in the mid game. I would have liked to see maybe a bit of an adjustment there, picking something that deals with Mundo a little bit better.
So what do you think, like an Ashe or a Vayne?
Yeah, sure. Those would be better options, I think, in just being able to deal with him. I don't dislike the Gragas. I think Gragas does pretty well into Mundo in general. Kind of just stops him from running at you. But they just don't have the damage to kill him right now, and I'd be surprised if Mundo dies this game at the current rate.
Yeah, we have the Jhin with the.
I just going all in on this
there, but,
support
yeah.
Lux here. Kind of splitting up. Not sure if they'll finish the Baron here. No, it looks like they're opting to fight instead. Jhin coming in. Kev on the front line on that Sona, looking for an initiation. Doesn't really find it. They do find Kiddo, though, in the back line, and just getting run over by Mundo.
Yeah, and you got to think that was their plan going in, which is saying, hey, let's start Baron. If
Yeah.
they show up, turn around.
Yep, there's the initiation from Citrine, another good initiate from her. They'll probably just run this guy down, yep.
And
Meanwhile,
Caesar
Mundo's pushing
could-
mid, so they've got
Caesar
their map
could have
movement.
press right click on them and took his hands off the keyboard. Like, he didn't have to do anything. He just kept
Yeah,
on
they're kind of at that point in the game. Mundo here just taking down this mid inhib. Again, they just don't have the damage to beat him. That's like a full E from Victor. Did about 5% of his hit points.
No kidding.
Yeah, and that's going to be a free Baron for the blue side. They got top and mid both pushing.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Heading pretty much every lane. Yeah, every lane. I'm just trying to see if there's a window back into this game for Red, but they don't really have a comeback type comp, right? Like they're more of an early game comp, mid game comp.
The only thing I can see happening is letting them get like the Drake, the fourth Drake, and then trying to get an Elder afterwards. Like I don't see any other way in.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, they can always go for, luck steals or things like that, but it is at this point really mistakes at a blue that you're looking for. Maybe you can peck Sona off, trying to get some deep vision, and get a Lux binding into, a Jin ult or something and get rid of him,
Yeah,
but...
if you go for deep vision, you might just run into a Mundo that can 1v1 literally everyone in your team.
Yeah, there's the initiate from Kev.
There's another great ult from Kev.
Killing spree.
That might be game here. Cog running down mid. Looks like they're just going to try and hard end at mid here. Jin open up with ult from the outside. Again, you talked a little earlier about the Yasuo into that. Kind of just being able to stand behind the wall.
Yeah.
They might be able to get Yasuo here. A little consolation prize, but Mundo is just, hitting things with his face. And that looks like that's going to be all she wrote for this game. So 2-0, Piltover. 1-1, Shuriman Sand Soldiers. Overall, pretty clinical game out of the Firelights.
Yeah, so let's talk about MVPs. Who do you think was the MVP?
I gotta give it to probably the Amumu early game. I think a couple of those early fights bought. Really just went the way of the blue side, and that was able to let Kev roam, let the Kog'Maw snowball. Came mid after and got Yasuo ahead. Like, that was a pretty even lane until she came along. And yeah, I think as every game, jungle diff.
Yep, I have to agree. There were times when less seasoned junglers would not go in because it was like a little close to tower, and she, came in there balls deep, put that Q in there, and got her bot lane a couple more kills. So I have to give it the same.
Let's see if we can get the post game stats in here. This is another thing that likes to not work. All right, let's get this. Go. Graphs, you see that Mundo damage, 16,000.
It's not showing up.
Oh, should be. Oh, 1 second. Let me switch in
It's showing up on your end.
here. Yeah,
Okay.
it's on the stream. Yeah. So the other thing I want to look at is score. Yeah, 63 to 12. Just kind of showing the dominance of getting ahead early and keeping that the whole way through. So I might also give that to Kev there for just making sure they stayed ahead that whole game by having all that vision in the enemy's jungle the whole way. Not really giving them a chance to get back, but
Yep, absolutely. Well, it was a great time streaming with you, and
Yeah.
until next time.
absolutely. That's all. Cheers, everyone.